Welcome to another Spotlight on Business. We're in downtown Ellensburg, Washington, here at Fitterer's Furniture to talk about how Fitterer's has been serving the needs of all of Washington, for a matter of fact, for over 120 years. And one thing that you're going to find out as we talk to Brad Fitterer over the next several minutes and his crew is that basically Fitterer's just fits.
I'm Cheryl Salta, and I am the business manager, and I've been here for approximately 29 years.
I'm Brad Fitterer, and I'm fortunate enough to be the owner of Fitterer's Furniture.
I'm Amanda McDougall, and I handle digital marketing at Fitterer's for about the last 3 years.
Brad gives us the backstory on how Fitterer's came to be.
Well, Fitterer's has a very interesting history. We've been in business since 1896. So obviously we've been around for a long time, and 123 years right here in Ellensburg, Washington. We've been in this location since 1906. There's some discrepancies. It took a while to build the building, and so some people will say 1906 and some people will say 1908. But we've been in the corner of 4th and Main since the early 1900s. My great-grandfather and my great-great-uncle started the business. They actually managed a hotel here in town called the Horton House. And for some reason, lost to history, they owned the furnishings, but they didn't own the building or the business. And they parted company with the ownership for reasons, again, lost to history, and came down to the corner of 3rd and Main, which is about a block away, and opened up all their used furniture in a tent. And that's how the furniture business has started, which is somewhat different than a lot of furniture businesses on the West Coast, which actually started as funeral parlors.
Immigrating from Germany and finding their way through Minnesota and North Dakota, the family found their way to what would eventually become the city of Ellensburg. Brad admits the name is definitely unique.
It's a rather unusual name. It's pronounced Fitterers. You just kind of let it roll off your tongue. Well, it's spelled Fitterers, so I always figured at some point in time when they were immigrating from Germany, the fellow at the immigration office either stuttered or the fellow saying the name stuttered.
Originally from Gig Harbor and coming from a corporate background, Amanda says working at a local family-run company gives her a refreshing perspective on business and what community means.
That's one of the things that I like most about working here. I worked at a big corporation for a long time, 5 years or so after I graduated from college. This is different than that, and I think there's a lot of places you can work where, you know, you might have there's consistency in your day so much that it becomes boring. Like Cheryl said, there's always something going on here, and it's usually fun. And if it's not fun today, it probably will be tomorrow. So there's always something going on, and there's a lot of just being happy here. And I think that probably has a lot to do with the business being as old as it is, I suppose. And I think when you say old, it almost comes off negative, but it's been a staple in this community for years. And not being from this community originally, you can really see that also working here. You know, I see people come in and they'll say, "Oh, I remember hearing that on the radio," or "Yeah, I remember coming and sitting on Santa's lap when I was a kid." And that's so cool to me, because if I was from here and doing that, I think it would be special. So it's nice to be a part of longevity, like, you know, we've talked about in a business. And
Many times throughout these spotlights, we've asked businesses how they tackle the challenges that come with the age of online shopping. For Fitterer's, Brad says while they've upped their strategies for digital marketing with the help from Amanda, scoping out furniture is shopping that should be done in person.
But with the furniture business, it's still a touch, feel, smell, sit business. We sell bed in the box, where you can buy them online. We can drop ship them to your home, but it's not the same sort of quality. It's not the same sort of correct mattress than when you come in and talk to one of our sales staff and they find out what sort of problems you're having sleeping, or if you're having hip problems, back problems, shoulder problems, or if you're not sleeping, or they can really direct you to a particular type of mattress. That's just one of the things that you can't always get online. You can't get the in-depth knowledge, because it's not always a two-way street talking to your computer. So there are advantages. There are advantages to touching and feeling the fabric, sitting on it, and also just experiencing all the different colors. And one thing that Fitterers offers is a goof-proof warranty that we will make sure you're happy with your furniture, or we will bring it back.
Inside the massive complex that is Fitterers, you'll find 21,600 square feet of furniture. But more than that, you'll find a staff who feels like family with a track record of longevity.
My family moved here from the Midwest, from the Chicago area, and when I moved into this town, I wasn't sure. It was a small town. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with my little girls, and I started here, and Brett has allowed me to, like I say, flex with the position, move up in the company. I've always wanted to stay in one place for a long, long time, and so I've got that here, and I really don't have any need to look anywhere else. So I think going home at the end of the day and feeling good about everything that we've talked about here and knowing that I'm a part of that and getting a good night's sleep, that's priceless.
From hosting community events to continuing old-fashioned traditions like checking out customers on this old cash register, Brad says what's most important to him is making a difference with his employees. Fitterers welcomes employees with special needs, something Brad says makes him proudest at the end of the day.
I may get a little emotional. I mentioned that we were an inclusive employer. We have had a couple people work for us, Lydia, now Sarah, and there's been one other that we were able to provide jobs for that gave them value. They gave us more. That's what I'm most proud of. It's the people.
It's the NCWLIFE Channel Spotlight on Business. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Today we're here to learn how in the world a former saddle bronc rider from Eastern Oregon teams up with a bodybuilder from Eastern Washington to help folks with their financial wealth management. Not just for them, but for generations to come. We're here today at Equilus Financial Partners in East Wenatchee. Joel Frank, Managing Principal and founder of Equilus Group Incorporated, and Jake Carpenter, Vice President of Investor Relations at Equilus Capital Partners, sat down in their East Wenatchee office, sprinkled with rodeo memorabilia as a nod to Joel's agricultural background, to chat about their growing business.
Well, Equilus came about kind of out of a vision that I had about probably 8 years ago. I was working with some financial advisory firms, the Fortune 100, and they really weren't serving our client base the way that I thought we could and should. I left there and started Equilus Group in 2013. I'm a macro advisory group, and what that does is it works bringing all the powers to be, the attorneys, the CPAs, our financial advisors working together as a team. So not covering any cross-advisor gaps that most wealth managers have in their portfolio. So we're able to kind of bring it in, kind of vision as a financial SWAT team. And it was very successful.
From there, Joel Frank and the Equilus Group took their services a step further with Equilus Capital Partners.
Equilus Capital Partners was our, we founded in 2017, and that is our real estate investment trust funds that we put together, much like a mutual fund. And they were started by Congress in 1960 for REITs. So that's kind of our investment leg that we do for our wealth management side.
So what does the word Equilus mean?
Well, Equilus is a Latin name, and Equilus means financial strength. And in Latin, the horse was regarded as strength, and that is kind of the term that has come from Equilus. It's financial strength.
Raised on a ranch in Eastern Oregon, Joel competed for 18 years in the rodeo saddle broncs. Jake also lives an active lifestyle as a former bodybuilder and continues to train. They say they bring these backgrounds to the job and into their relationships with clients.
I think it's really unique. It's the same inner strength that I found when I was competing on the rodeo circuit. It's having that self-discipline and overcoming a lot of the challenges when you're an athlete. And most of our financial, I think we've all been athletes, every one of us. Even our other individual just hired, Nate Higgins. He's had been a professional swimmer. So it's it's kind of funny that I realize and think back on that, but I think there's an inner strength that you get from competing and going through that process early in life of being an athlete.
That translates over into how we work with clients. You can't be there for them one week and not there for them another week. It's a relationship building process. It's just like in marriage, you got to work at it every day, but that work pays off. It's a seed that grows into something really special.
I think the other side of that too is the educational output that we put out to our clients. We hold a lot of seminars throughout the year, educational seminars for our clients to keep them up to speed to any of the regulatory changes and some of the things, where their investments are at. We produce a quarterly newsletter here in the house. It goes out to our investors. So we really like to keep them in touch and treat them like family. They are part of our family.
Jake says he came to Equilus to help solve problems for clients by ending the gaps that occur between financial advisors.
Well, I came into financial services in November of 2006, and I initially started working with New York Life, selling life insurance, and pretty quickly moved into estate planning and wealth transfer, business succession. And I shared a similar vision to Joel in that I would go into a situation and I would solve a problem over here and create a problem somewhere else simultaneously. And the reason why that was happening is because, as Joel said, the advisors don't talk to each other. The financial planners don't communicate with the CPAs, and the CPAs don't communicate with the attorneys, and the attorneys don't communicate with the real estate brokers, and so on and so forth. So I shared that vision that Joel initially had of bringing together a team of advisors that can build strategies with little to no cross-advisor gaps. It's called a macro advising platform. And in doing that, we found a lot of success in being able to serve our clients.
Kind of your analogy with a doctor. Everybody, I think, goes to a doctor and they have a general practitioner, right? But you don't go to your general practitioner for brain surgery. And a lot of our clients are wealth clients, and they need specialty type advice and advisors that know that can work with the taxation, that can work with that. And so we put together a team of some of the best tax advisors, CPAs. We look for the best. We put together a strategic team, the best of the best, to serve our wealth clients. And so we like to go in and kind of think of ourselves as the brain surgeons.
With 75 to 80% of their clients in the ag industry, Jake explains the process for clients who come to Equilus, a process that sets education as a priority.
For the most part, I'm almost like the beginning of you going through our funnel. So I take a relationship building conversation that helps me understand where you're at and where you want to be, maybe identify some cross-advisor gaps, right out of the gates, and then we will process through building the relationship with our clients and identifying the specific gaps and issues and shortfalls that they're dealing with. We will take them through a process that will hone down and give them more options through educating them on what we do and how we do it. Most of our clients, since they're already wealthy, they're already working with a team, their team just isn't talking to each other. So we will then generally we build a good strategy to take back to them. We would engage their own attorney, CPA, financial advisor, depending on how, what their situation is and the trust level they have with their advisors. And then we would implement those strategies and make sure everyone's on board so everyone's working together in the best interest of the client. What we're looking for is people that are searching for a relationship-focused process, not a transactional process. And I tell people when I first meet with them, look, if you're looking for a transactional process where you call us up and you tell us, hey, I want to buy this stock and sell this stock, we're not your folks. We're looking for a long-term relationship. We truly feel at Equilus Capital Partners that you cannot identify the specific and really deep underlying issues of someone's wealth management unless you get to know them extremely well, the dynamics of their family, the dynamics of their business, understand how all of those dynamics work together, and engage their own trusted professionals.
At the end of the day, Joel Frank says he's proudest of the team who has helped bring Equilus to where it is today, serving clients in Washington, Idaho, and Oregon. Joel says Equilus Capital Partners brings options and a trusting relationship to its clients.
We can give greater diversity into an investment base, probably give them options that most financial advisors can't, and I think that's because of our macro advisory services. And the options is really about what it is. They can choose to take the options or not, but we can provide those options.
Eric Granstrom with the NCWLIFE Channel Spotlight on Business. A year ago, we introduced you to senior insurance. This year, we're back to talk about the new name, Springwater Insurance. Jim Heinlein is going to tell us about why they made the change and what you need to be aware about, especially if you're a Medicare recipient. It's all right here on the NCWLIFE Channel's Spotlight on Business. Joined by his office dog, Harley, Jim Heinlein visited with me at the cafe area of the office at Springwater Insurance Group. Since our visit with Jim last year in the brand new building, the business has seen some changes, including its name.
So last October, we began at our new location here on Springwater Street, just behind Target in Wenatchee. And yeah, we're kind of wondering what customers would say. And the common thing was they said it's very comfortable here. And as you can tell, I guess our waiting room is a cafe. And so that makes it comfortable. But yeah, it was really nice. It was nice. We enjoyed the other offices, but this is definitely an environment that's peaceful and conducive to teaching people about their Medicare. For years, we've been having customers say, can you help me with life insurance? Can you help me with homeowners? Can you help me with my kids and insurances for my relatives and family that aren't on Medicare? And just with so many requests like that, and then we thought, well, if we start doing more than just Medicare, is somebody in it who's 40 going to call senior insurance? So we thought maybe we should have a name that's broader in scope. But we don't want our customers, though, to think, wait a minute, we don't do Medicare? And we're fully immersed in Medicare. That's our focus. But with the Springwater Insurance Group, it just suggests more than Medicare. But yeah, so we're doing that, offering different coverages: life, health, disability, annuity, and of course Medicare. That's our bread and butter.
What inspired the change to Springwater?
Yeah, it was because, well, here we're on Springwater Street, so that's kind of obvious. But and then the other locations, but who doesn't like Springwater? I mean, it's just it's refreshing, washing, new. In our logo we have ripples because what we do has rippling effect throughout your life, and so it kind of made sense that way. So, but obviously being on Springwater Street in Wenatchee doesn't hurt either. Yeah, and another thing too is some people will call their business such and such group. And sometimes there's just one person there. I always wonder, where's the group? But, we are a group. We have 5 locations. We have about 15 agents that work with us now to help, because we've grown a little bit, and we really appreciate our growth because it comes from customer referrals. But the group is my whole team that works together. And there's other people in our group, too, that are off-site. We work with nurses that help us do underwriting to understand people's backgrounds. So, it's quite a good group. And it's been a consistent growth year after year. And whenever I think about that, I always think, man, sure, we've done some things, we've worked hard, but the advocacy from our clients is really the big factor. And so we always want to express that thanks too. Without our customers, we wouldn't be in this building, we wouldn't be here.
To meet the needs of their growing customer base, Jim says staffing has expanded as well as the services they offer. But Medicare is still Springwater Insurance Group's focus. Jim explains how signing up for Medicare works on a basic level and why it's important to revisit your coverage yearly.
Well, first of all, understand there's 2 ways to have your Medicare. One way of having your Medicare, called the original model, you don't have a once per year change. Those kind of plans can change monthly on the original Medicare. But this program called Medicare Advantage, or Part D drug plans. Those are yearly changeable, and a lot of folks, like all of us, we get comfortable, we like it, we don't want to revisit it. The problem with not revisiting your coverage each year is that the insurance company will raise the rates or change the benefits. So what we do at Springwater Insurance Group is we meet with our clients yearly and we discuss what is new and different with your coverage. You know, not only has your coverage changed, but have you changed? So if you've changed or your coverage changed, we need to talk about it. Perhaps it's more suitable to go to some other plan. Maybe you're on a Medicare Advantage plan and it's appropriate due to your life circumstances to go to a supplement. Well, this is the time of year we want to do that. In fact, they call it annual election period.
He often uses a shoe analogy to explain the importance of keeping up on medical changes.
Well, you know, a person, maybe when they turn 65, they didn't have diabetes. Now they're 68 and they have diabetes and they're taking 4 medications. Well, if they have the drug plan they had when they didn't have diabetes and they still have it, well, maybe that plan isn't appropriate. So you medically changed. Sometimes, and a lot of times too, a couple will come in. One of them has changed and is now needing a more comprehensive drug plan. With a spouse who doesn't need a more comprehensive, they tend to follow them into this more comprehensive plan. So not only do we want to visit with you each year, we also want to make sure your spouse has the appropriate fit and you have the appropriate fit. And I always joke with them because people will say, we do everything the same. Now, that's cute. Do you wear the same shoes? No, right, because you're different. And so that's, again, it is annual election time. We want to make sure you come in. I guess using the shoe analogy, we want to make sure you're resized. And what's important now, has your life changed? And because, you know, they say as you get older, your feet get bigger.
What changes are coming to Medicare itself? Jim gives us a rundown of what he advises his customers to do.
There's one huge change coming for January 1st. So remember I mentioned there's 2 ways to have your Medicare. You know, there's the Medicare Advantage side of the page, and the other side of the page, you know, is called Original Medicare, where Original Medicare has these Medicare supplements. So Medicare supplements, there's 10 of them, 10 supplements to choose from, ranging from not much coverage to comprehensive. Well, the comprehensive Medicare supplement is called Plan F. Plan F's going away January 1st. So for the person who says, I want a Medicare supplement that covers every detail and I share no costs, well, that's gone January 1st. You can join it before December 31st, but we are encouraging our customers, do not join Plan F. Because when there's a plan that's going away and you keep it, the insurance companies, they know that you're the kind of person that won't leave. If you won't leave, let's raise your premiums really high because you'll just keep it. We encourage people to take Medicare supplement letter G. It's one off from that Plan F that covers everything. Now, it's too confusing to explain into the air right now. That's why we use really nice visuals. And with looking at this visual, we compare Plan F, Plan G, and it's the same coverage all the way down but one item. Well, that one item is so simple that Plan G is more cost effective. We have these little comparison sheets that are free. We can give those to folks. And pretty much when people see that sheet, they're like, oh my goodness, I don't want Plan F. I want Plan G. Because it saves them about $450 to $500 a year.
At Springwater Insurance Group, formerly Senior Insurance, education is at its core. Jim says the name change brings a new face to the same values.
You know, the experience is going to be the same. And the experience is this. It's our mission statement. We teach our members, Medicare beneficiaries, how to shop and how to compare from all available plans so that they can get the most suitable coverage for the least expense. Our name has changed, but our purpose is still the same. And it makes for I have a fun job. I make a living helping people save money and getting them in the proper fits.